Hello, long time no talk. I have pulled away and pulled into what feels correct for me, what God's calling me to do, whatever that may be. Follow your intuition as a mother, follow your intuition as a wife, follow your intuition as a single person, follow your intuition in your career, or whatever that may be. Follow your intuition, or follow God, or your calling, or whatever. Life is just a bunch of seasons. It's a season of life that you're currently in, present, today, etc., etc. If you are postpartum fresh with the baby, it could be very hard for you, and you could see other moms online. This world with social media brings in such uncertainty or comparison or whatever that may be, and you may look at a mom that's doing what may be your ideal life, or what you think she's doing. Maybe that was just a 5-second clip of her day that day or whatnot. Just know that it's a season. We just bought a new house. It's old. It's a 1904 farmhouse. Hello, it's really old. Right now I'm restoring doors. Me and my husband have been building the chicken coop. Oh, we have chickens! Okay. I haven't shared that, I've just been so gone. I thought I was never gonna post again. I've been telling people, yes, I'm done with YouTube. However, the past few weeks, I've just been feeling like I want to share something. The video is going to be sharing more of where I've been and what I've been pursuing, and that is honestly just homemaking. My number one goal in life, and my number two goal in life that I've always told myself is, number one goal in life is to be a great wife, and I prepared for that from the very beginning. When I was very young, before I even had my boyfriend of my husband, I was just very particular on the kind of man that I wanted to date. You don't have to be a wife just yet. You don't have, you do want to be a helpmate, so you do want that person to help alongside. And then number two, to be a great mother. It's never been to be the successful person to go to college. I never wanted to go to college, but even still there, I didn't realize that a homemaking way of life was an option or an ideal in my head. I don't find myself feminine, and that's funny because I went to cosmetology school and got my cosmetology license. I think I graduated top of my class. I've never enjoyed school, so that's why I brought that up. And that's a whole other thing. Homeschooling is my calling. My husband brought it up before I did. Even motherly or maternal, before I had kids, I never felt that way. I never had any kids to know what being a mom was like. I fell so in love with my body and with pregnancy, with the way God's designed us to carry babies and deliver babies into this world. So fascinating to me, I could not have guessed. But after that point in motherhood, I had no idea where that line went. I always wanted it, but I didn't find myself able, or I thought low of myself, and I know how huge of a role it is. If you guys have been following for a long time, you've heard me talk about this quote a whole lot. It's in one of the birth vlogs. Those are my favorite videos I've ever shared on my channel, are birth vlogs, because they're just so amazing. If you want to change the world, go home and love your family. So all of these things have been so instilled in me. My husband's always wanted me to stay home. My husband always has loved the old ways of life. I've always loved interior design. My grandma spoke that into me at 3rd, 4th grade, thinking in the past, but this all just kind of connects into the present today. I've already been talking for so long. Oh my God. I used to want to be a carpenter, a freaking carpenter. 3rd, 4th grade, carpenter / interior designer. And right now I'm able to really get into learning that. I've been telling my husband for years I want him to teach me, because he does woodworking and stuff like that, and I want to be able to do it, and I have the ability to. Anyways, I hear a baby coming. What, my lovey? You got a monster truck? So much. We have chickens. We have 8 chickens and 2 guineas. That has been so fulfilling and amazing. My husband and I have been so inspired by the homestead community, about learning about homesteading, growing our own food, starting where we can, making mistakes, learning. Also, that's a whole reason I can't speak. That's a reason maybe I've left social media or YouTube. I don't think that I'm itching my butt right now, clearly. I don't find myself perfect at all. I just don't ever want that to come off. I'm just sharing my heart where I'm at. I don't feel, even just sitting down where am I type video, it's not worthy of that. Who really cares? Homestead, homeschool, homemaking, learning to make my own bread, sourdough, learning to cook, teach myself different foods, grow our own foods. I've been enjoying plants. like, what? With homemaking, it is a financial sacrifice. I mean, with the ways of the world, society, it can even be looked down upon like a failure, all these different things. But that's quite funny and ironic, because if you're looking after your kids, keeping a home in order, all these different things, that's a lot of different jobs all encompassed into one person. If someone were watching your kids and their job title was to be a nanny of these children, that would be looked as successful, being a nanny. Or if you were a cook, that would be looked as successful. Or a gardener, that would be looked as successful. Hi, baby. If you're a teacher, that's successful. What? Oh, goodness. But, what are you doing? I will get you. Dinner is done. Boys are to bed. I am back. Like, we don't have all that money. So it is a financial sacrifice, and then we need to be frugal in certain areas, cut on things, not vacation, different things like that. That's a sacrifice that we want to make for our family because we see the good in it. We're keeping our home environment positive and uplifting our spouse as they go to work. Mothers, homemakers, in home, working, whatever, are changing the next generations. We're raising the next generations. That's like one of the most, teachers are highly like praised. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying now, because I just like, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. So it's like, in my opinion, like one of the most important rules. I swear, like the world, society, the devil, something is coming for the family unit, and it's coming for the children. At home, I just feel such value, and I'm benefiting my family. I'm benefiting my children, my children's emotional stability, and my children's future. Versus if I were to be working for a man or working for a company, I'm benefiting that person that I'm working for, and keep a positive outlook on it, which then changes the dynamic between me and my husband, or the dynamic between our kids, when there's not that negativity in that fast-paced, busy life. Society is very go, overwork, busy, and it can take away from connection between parents, connection around the dinner table. Dinner tables are so important. I didn't grow up eating around the dinner table, and that's something that's very important to Grant and I, is to eat around the dinner table, converse, see how the days have gone, and I think it's huge. The last time I was posting on YouTube, I just wanted to figure out like where my heart fell, and I was like, as I was trying to figure that out, I thought, is that intentional parenting, like trying to raise my kids specific ways, trying to learn how to parent in this certain grouping or this certain category to raise my children well. But no, I don't believe that is what it was. What I've found is it's just simply just homemaking, being in the home. It's just all of it wrapped into one, which again makes sense in the beginning when I was saying how my husband is, how I am, and it just all just makes sense. And with the simplicity of life and the old school ways of life, it brings a sense of peace and stability, and not the busy, go anxiety that's been forced into our society. The way TikTok and short form has really taken our society is we're such short attention spans, and 6 seconds or less. That's just not real life. Like, okay, over here is where my desk is, and that's what it looks like right now, you know? And I don't know, it's not like the greatest example, but all these different things, it's just that we see, it's not real. In the community, I think a lot of it is Christians and Christianity, and I love this it's the Homemakers Club on Instagram and podcast. I'll link it down below. A lot of them are like Christian based, or Christian values, which I really respect the morals and the values of that, and I do believe in God. A certain part, like, I've just been like up and down with it, and like certain parts of me are like pulled away from like the title religion, or the title like Christianity, I guess. Like, this where I'm going out with that, is that homemaking isn't just because the Bible says so, or isn't just because hanging it on a certain hook. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do things just because the Bible says so. Like, you should do what feels right, but I guess what calls me to it I love this quote. Your children will become who you are, so be who you want them to be. That's like what pulls me to homemaking. I want my children to see us working hard and growing our own food and learning and trying and failing. And I love that about gardening and seeing life and death through chickens or through cows. And the homesteading community is so inspiring to us. Seeing when in December, before we moved in the house, before we were even like looking, before this house even came about at all, in December we saw a homesteader's YouTube video, and her pantry had all these different canned goods, like so much back stock in her cellar. And it was so beautiful and so inspiring to Grant and I, and we kind of like visualized that and took that, and we're just trying to implement it in ways we can. And cows really inspire us, and we've talked so many times about like how we could get cows out on this property if it could ever be a thing, because we don't have acreage, and I would prefer grass-fed beef. In the very first of the year, again, before we ever saw this house or anything, I made this vision board for my computer screen, and it was different things I wanted basically my year to look like. And I looked at it it was in June, so like the 6-month mark, and I had not even logged into my computer in so long because I haven't been like editing, doing YouTube stuff like that. I need to get rid of different things that I pay for because it's a waste of money for YouTube. And it was so cool to see, because I didn't know we were getting this house, and like everything basically on that I've done, and it's just like that's just really freaking cool to me. We don't currently even have Wi-Fi, so that's interesting. Sometimes we get connection, sometimes we don't. Sometimes I post Instagram stories and they upload at random times. It doesn't really make sense. And if I did come back to YouTube, I can edit without Wi-Fi. It doesn't need to be hooked up. The program I have purchased, just to upload, I obviously need Wi-Fi, so hopefully that's when a connection was working, maybe my hotspot on my phone, or I could go to the coffee shop or my parents. I think everyone mothers differently, and I follow different parenting advice and parenting things, but I take it with a grain of salt because our intuition is right and we know our kids right. I like having some guideways, and then I can do this, do that. Someone had asked me if I wanted to become a doula, or if I just fully embraced, I love that wording, or if I just fully embrace what season of life I'm in. And I truly believe that, like I fully embrace, and that's something I can say I love about myself. There's things I don't love about myself, and there's things that I do, and I fully do embrace what season of life that I am in that moment. And now I'm just fully embracing who I am, and as a mom and as a wife, and as supplying my home for my kids. DMs that I get, I love different conversations, voice notes, and just different connections that I've made. That's why I started my channel. Build community, build friendship, because I'm a scatterbrained person all over the place. Has made things like hard to connect, but I know there's people like me or people that understand me, and that's what starting this back in 2016 has evolved into. And that's like something that I'm really proud of, and I don't want to like give that piece up. And I also have subscribers that we completely view politics completely different, and I have her cell phone number. Like I just FaceTimed her the other day. I don't want to say her name, but she knows. I'm sure she knows who I'm talking about. Her. I just love her so much. Of course now she knows because I'm saying I FaceTimed her. See, my brain's loopy. But I FaceTimed her the other day and was asking about gardening and like compost and stuff like that. But I just share that because I have multiple subscribers that have different politics and views than me. But just that's the way the world should be. We should have such differences, but such significance and like unity and coming together and like sharing on different ways and like agreeing on different ways, but we just don't agree on everything. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm stumbling all over my words. It's super late and I want to get out in the living room with Grant because we're trying to watch a movie, but I wanted to finish this, so I'm just stumbling all over my words. I've just been so immersed into social media at such a young age, like at 7th grade, 6th grade, something like that, fully immersed 24/7 on that, isolated onto my phone 24/7. Like we're like the first generation that has had this and seen the effects of it, and I don't want that for my kids. I want my kids to be in such a loving home and cared for home, and my parents care for me so much, so much. My parents and I, our relationship lately has been for like a while now, literally since the boys were born, has just exponentially grown, and I've felt their love exponentially for me. And parents do the best they can with what they have. Things that I do is going to mess up my kids. It's just how it is, and you take and choose from your husband's upbringing and from your upbringing, and you create a family of your own family unit, and that's what's so beautiful. And I just want to try my best to do the best that I can, and I just take it very serious. Again, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. And social media is something that I don't think when it started we could see the ripple effects that it has now with different filters. I haven't used filters on stories, Instagram stories, for over a year now for sure. I got that from Julia Havens, love her. But, and again, see, there's like great connections, like, I love Julia Havens, like I'm total fangirl. There's goodness to it, friendships that can be built. We have the whole world that we can meet people just like us. Like, I'm jumping all over the place. So there is like such goodness, but there's so much you need to guard your heart from with social media, and I just want to make sure I'm able to do that for my kids and not just put it all right there for them. And then that could go into a whole nother realm of just predators online for children, but I'm not going down that hole right here. People could be so skilled in photography, so skilled at homemaking, so skilled at entertaining people to their home. We all have our own skill, and I have mine, even though when I was young I didn't realize I had my own skills, and now I know I have lots of talents that I can utilize and I can do. And because I'm a homemaker, I can do all of them at once. Instead of working one job and doing one thing all the time, I can do a lot of different things all the time, which is really cool. A lot of me is drawn to it because I still view long form content. I've watched YouTube like crazy. Remember, I said I was way immersed into my phone, and so I have a huge love and a huge passion for it. I don't want to just give that up, but I need to create good boundaries.